Hey, hello everybody, Dead Spikes here, and today I'm coming at you with a Zane build. I'm sure if you're like me, a lot of you just came back to Borderlands for the new update, which is pretty cool. But the level cap increased, and we need a new build. And I got one for you. There's also a hell of a lot of gun buffs that I have not gotten to yet. So this build will probably change down the line, but for right now, it's doing a lot of damage and doing very well. So I'm gonna hook you guys up with it. Now, if you've never saw one of my build videos, I love to showcase some gameplay before we get into it, just to try to persuade you, you know, and show you how it runs on the field. So this isn't a true takedown, this is just a normal takedown. Just because I honestly don't care too much whether it's true or not. You get the same amount of loot anyway. So we're gonna do some ad clearing here just to show how it does ad clearing, and then we're gonna do a boss kill for you. This will be the ad clearing section. We'll just clear Valkyries is what we'll do here. We are almost up to. Bang. Dun, 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 dun. Door's not open yet even, huh? There it goes. Peace. That's what we like to see. Oop, they cryoed us. No antifreeze here. Alright, so we're just gonna clear Valkyries up here. Build does great on everything. I've ran both takedowns quite a few times with it. A lot of the trials, even with their buff state they're in right now, did trials decently. Can we keep it? Ah, damn, we can't keep barrier. Oh, unfortunate. We're just too late to the punch there. Okay, we'll get it back pretty quickly here. There we go. Alright, starting with dogs. In my opinion, the worst one of all of them. There we go. There we go. So the butcher got buffed, and that's what I'm using right here, by the way. That's the shotgun that's going absolutely crazy right now. Because it is so strong. That's insane how much damage it does. I love it though. I used to use the butcher when the game first came out. I really liked it, but then it kind of fell off when the enemies got too much health. But as you can see, it's back in a good state. The last set of ad clearing here, and then it's the bosses. All right, let's finish off these bosses. There we go. All right, let's show a little boss kill, then we'll go over the skill tree. So the boss we have to do this on, obviously, is Grave Ward. I mean, if we come back to Borderlands, there's no other boss we like to bully than Grave Ward. He's a good damage tester. So here we go, let's have some fun. That is an unoptimized kill there. I didn't switch my elements like I should have, but it still did good. All right, well, you saw some mobbing, you saw some bossing. Let's go over the build now. So we will start off with our weaponry. Here we go. We got our weapons on the left that we are running and all of the gear, and we have some extra weapons on the right. I will tell you the notable ones, but we'll just start this top to bottom. I'll go over quickly as I can here, and hopefully I can explain everything. If you have any questions, do make sure to put them in the comment section down below. I will answer them the best that I can. So starting off here with the Cutsman. The Cutsman is a great damage dealer for large targets. It's got to be a target that it can hit multiple times. If it can hit the target multiple times, it does a very, very good job. There's a lot of bosses that you can do that. Like Runer, you got Wotan, just the really large fat bosses that it'll hit like, you know, 6 times maybe, that have a lot of hitboxes through them. That's where the Cutsman really comes in. I only use the corrosive one really. Oh, it's really good for Agonizer too. That's another one. Corrosive Light Show. I switched this between the corrosive one and the fire one. I might go get a shock one as well, but Light Show is such a good gun on Zane. It does a lot of damage with a very high magazine. So I don't know, whatever element you want. This is a good single target gun. Like if you have a badass in front of you of a certain element, like if this was a armored badass in front of me, I'd pull out this corrosive light show, and that's how I'd kill him. The butcher, you saw what it did. I mean, I don't think I need to explain it much. It's just a crazy damage dealer after all these buffs. It is so strong. I don't really recommend the kinetic, but you can see that the kinetic worked great. If I could choose it, I would pick a fire one. I would want a fire one with cryo, or vice versa. A cryo one with fire anointment. But all these anointments you'll notice are the on action skill and next 2 magazines. That is important, so go for those anointments when you're running this build. Redistributor, shouldn't have to say much about this. It's the best ad clearing weapon for Zane. It's kind of a little gimmick that you do, because every 7th shot is amped, and amped shot chains to targets is what the Redistributor does. But when you use barrier, every single shot you shoot while barrier's up is amped, quote unquote. So every shot chains, and that's why it just deletes waves of enemies very, very fast. So I'm running, this is exactly what you want. You want a radiation redistributor with cryo on the next 2 megs. There's a lot of other redistributors you could use that are pretty good too. Like you could have a fire one that's pretty fun for just deleting like COV targets and such. Just redistributors in general are great, but this is the general use one that can cover everything. Next we have our shield. This is a new shield that I just got to learn, which was really fun. I haven't played since this came out, but this Revolter is crazy. For the people who've been playing this, I'm sure you guys all know, but on depletion, this shield will give you a huge shock damage increase, so you deal shock damage, and then it also makes it so your fire rate's increased when it breaks. So we're running the on action skill start, activate any effect that triggers on shield break or fill, so that we can get that bonus all the time with Mantis. Our grenade, it doesn't matter what grenade you run. I'm just looking for the on action skill end. Gain bonus corrosive damage. Ideally you'd want like a storm front, because it would go around and it would set your scene dead to keep proccing up your skills, but it really doesn't matter that much, to be honest. As you can see, I just have a bunch of whites and blues and greens. I have all the colors in here actually, just for the on action skill ends. For your class mod, I run Scene Dead. I may try some other class mods later. I would like to. If I didn't have DLC, I would try to use the Executor. So if you don't have the DLC, I would try out the Executor. I don't know if it would perform at the same level. I don't think it would. It'd still be pretty decent though. But if you have all the DLCs, I do think Scene Dead is hands down the best class mod for Zane. Still, even after it's been rebalanced and such, it's just really good. Always go for these 2 perks on it too, is Plain Dirty and Donnybrook. Yeah, there you go. Also, the other thing I would go for on Scene Dead is Weapon Magazine. Weapon Magazine is very important. It helps out a lot of damage. This is almost a perfectly rolled Scene Dead. This is what you want. Fortunately, it's a 65, not a 72, but it still does great. Artifact wise, there's a few you can use. This is the Pearl that I like to use. Magazine and fire rate on the bottom. Otherwise, I'll use the launch pad sometimes if there's going to be an ammo problem. This happens in the Guardian takedown sometimes because everything's so tanky and there's not enough ammo to get back. So I'll pop this on and it'll get you all your ammo back pretty quickly. Snowdrift Victory Rush if you want some really fast movement speed for any reason. You don't really want that one. An Icebreaker Victory Rush would be another good one that would be good, because you're freezing targets sometimes and that'll give you some extra damage when they're frozen. Next, we are in our skill tree. Let's take our class mod off so you can see that the points aren't upgraded. I don't want to go over every single skill in this skill tree. I'm just going to show you what I got. So we are running the skills Mantis and Barrier. Barrier's needed for Redistributor, and then Mantis is needed for proccing your action skill and anointments. Here's our trees though. So we got red tree over here. Kind of just maxed out a few skills here. The only reason we have duct tape mod is because it'll make you immune to your own explosive damage, which is pretty good. Pretty, very strong. Just for that right there. So when you're popping things with radiation, explosion, and such, it's not going to hurt you. Here's blue tree. This is where almost all of Zane's damage comes from. Well, a very large portion, but now that purple tree exists, that does help out a lot too. Here's purple tree, another big chunk of damage. Nothing in green tree. So that's the whole Zane build right there. Here's my Guardian rank, not too high. If you're just starting out, always get topped off first. That's the most important Guardian perk. Another last thing I want to note is when you're combining your grenade action skill end or shield action skill end with your guns, if it's the same element, they will never stack. So do remember that when you're picking out your shield and grenade elements. So if you had corrosive here and then like corrosive on one of these guns, they will not stack. It will only work once. So you're wasting damage. You're going to want to stack different elements across the 3. that'll do it. I hope you guys enjoyed this and found this helpful. If you did, please make sure to hit that thumbs up button. Leave me a comment down below if you have any questions at all, and I will do my best to answer it. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Spikes out.